Benny, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Lord, you can imagine where it goes from here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Zedos Gang podcast. Here with me today, we have Neil, who makes a triumphant return. Say hello, Neil.
I'm back.
Neil returns. And we also have Sach on the line as well. Sach, how you doing?
Hey, ho.
It's so close, Sach, so close. We're very close to the screen. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm typing something there.
You're typing something?
Yeah, I'm typing.
You should get some glasses, dude. Okay, so with that out of the way, everyone knows what's going on. It's the end of March. I won't go into it. You know what everyone else is doing, so let's go straight into the news. And Sach, what we got? You're the curator today of news. You're the newsman.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has just announced Hobs and Shaw 2.
Exciting.
Go fast, go furious, sir, I guess.
Is that what the tagline is?
No, I can take that up.
Go faster, go furious, sir.
Speaking of Fast and Furious, let's take a note of acknowledging both this and the fact that Fast 9 is now split into two parts, Parts 1 and Parts 2.
What?
Oh, you don't know?
I thought Fast 9 was just...
No.
It was Fast 9, Fast 10, and then that's no more.
Wait, what Fast are we on?
8.
We've just had
9.
Fast 8. So this was
sorry. Not Fast 9. Fast 10 is split into two parts.
What is it, Harry Potter?
Apparently so. It's the epic conclusion to the Fast saga. Or could it be that Vin Diesel needs money?
No, I don't think Vin Diesel.
Tyrese needs money, but you know.
Vin Diesel doesn't need money. No, Tyrese doesn't need money either. He's got his R&B background to fall back on.
Man, you know, he needs some money.
No, Ja Rule needs money. Ja Rule needs money. He definitely needs something. I saw a Twitter comment he made like a few weeks ago, and you saw it as well. I thought, no, whoever sent that message back is a genius. Genius.
What's the message?
I'm not going to do it justice because it would be paraphrasing. But
Well, it was okay. So he obviously with the whole situation that is currently, going on. He sent a message and he was like, "If anybody needs me, I'll be in Alaska." And somebody responded, and all they said was, "No one's needed you since 2005."
When he was relevant.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's oof. Jesus. That I mean, if he couldn't see that coming, then
Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming. He should.
Oh yeah, exactly. Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming. Brilliant. Well, anyway, Hobs and Shaw. So they're splitting the films into two. Are they?
No, not Hobs and Shaw.
No. I know the Furious films. The main Furious film.
The main one. They're splitting into two parts for the end finale.
How do we?
Really a fan of that unless it needs to happen.
Yeah,
I don't think Universal will do that. Universal have other troubles up their sleeve coming down the line, which Sach completely disagrees with me. But Universal going to have other issues other than splitting those two that film into two parts. And it's not a practice ever since the Hunger Games. They haven't done it since.
Unless you count Infinity War.
Well, no, because that was always kind of designed to be
Yeah.
do film.
Oh yeah, sure. Sure.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. I mean, it's the Fast and Furious. They can do what the hell they want at this point. With the Fast and the goddamn Furious. I wish they had.
I mean, if you see from the trailer for Fast 9, like, you went from a car thief, or I'm sorry, you went from a street racer who steals DVD players.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In the car with your bare hands. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, I think the more ridiculous they make them. Do you remember that show called Sunset Beach?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what it's turned into now. It's turned into Sunset Beach where
fast cars.
Where every other episode is more ridiculous, and you can't believe how ridiculous it is. Is this actually happened? Did someone write this? Because when I first saw Sunset Beach, I thought, no, this can't. Nah, this is a spoof. This can't be real. And you got sucked in. It's like, wow, this is amazing. It's so bad, it's good. So yeah.
It looks like everyone's back for Hobbs and Shaw too. Ryan Reynolds is back. What's her face? The Kirby woman, Vanessa Kirby, who's in Mission Impossible. She's also in this film. She's back.
She's having a good few years, man. Mission Impossible. And
back to Mission Impossible 7 and 8 and 9 and 10.
No, there's only 2 more Macquarie was doing.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, yeah, she's good. But like, looks like it's a definite go. The Rock says they're developing it now for the next Hobbs and Shaw movie. Have any of you guys seen Hobbs and Shaw?
No, I haven't seen any of the films since 5.
You know what I like about Hobbs and Shaw? You don't have to see any of these films. You can just go into that movie and just enjoy it for what it is. And because
that is true.
And because it was the John Wick director.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know the guy that did that?
Leech.
Leech did it.
Yeah, okay.
And the action scenes were good. And had a nice cameo by Ryan Reynolds. It's a shame. And after the movie came out, you found out that they approached Keanu Reeves as well, but he couldn't with the John Wick 3. The schedule was too. Otherwise, John Wick was going to make a cameo, not as John Wick, but you know what I mean, as somebody else. And I just would, I just think that film as a standalone film, it worked because you had two people that clearly hate each other that had to work together, and it they had so much good chemistry. I loved it, man.
Right.
It was a nice, easy popcorn movie. Had lots of joke in it. It just elbow kind of like chomp the scenery out the shit out of it, and yeah, it was good, man. It was good.
Okay. I'll take.
You can miss a couple of Fast and Furious episodes. Just jump straight into Hobbs and Shaw. Guaranteed good time.
What are you going to say, Neil?
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, right, like, obviously, we're not talking about everything that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine recently watched Hobbs and Shaw and recorded a little
segment.
A little segment of it when it's, Idris is monologuing.
Yeah.
He's talking about, everything that's going on right now in the world, and the way he's talking, and somebody was like, "Hey, who would have thought that wouldn't be a funny joke a year later?"
Oh wow!
The word of Thanos. Snap.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the Fast movies will continue after I'm dead. That seems to be the only thing that and Bond and
don't die.
Yeah, and cockroaches, I guess.
Joe's not wrong, man. I mean, like, man, they're almost catching up to Bond, man. They're on like.
Bond's hitting 25, and they're on.
Yeah.
9.
Hobbs and Shaw, they've had 9 films. This will be 10.
I can't wait till it turns into Old and the Grumpy.
Old and the Grumpy.
The slow and the grumpy.
The slow and the grumpy, old grumpy man. I'm pretty sure they would have transitioned new guys. Oh yeah, I saw in the last trailer, Han is back.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's
a lot of that's the thing. There's a lot of fan theories and all of that going on. People saying, "Oh, it's not Han, it's his son." Because
no. You know what?
I don't care how good your DNA is. I don't care how good your swimmers are. Nobody will create a duplicate of himself.
Exactly.
Do you know how to solve this? Because this is the world of the Fast and the Furious, and the Furiouser, and the Faster, and whatever. But basically, you ever see the cinematic classic that is the big hit?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the thing. You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
What I'm going to say. There's a scene in that when you think Lou Diamond Phillips is dead.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's wasted. And then he shows up in the video store. And then it just cuts to how he got away. That could work in the Fast films. I'm sorry.
I've never seen The Big Hit. I guess that's something I need to watch.
You have never seen.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Okay, Joe. I bought that on Blu-ray as an impulse buy, and you know that you've said it. This is a film I keep mentioning to you over the whole time I've met you, and every time you've said you've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know why you haven't seen it your whole time while hanging out with me, because when it came out, it was when DVD was brand new, and it was one of the last VHSs I bought, so I never got the DVD of it.
Uh-huh.
And I only recently got it like a year ago.
Right.
Like 1 year ago on Blu-ray. Because I was remembering it. I was like, shit, I really want to see The Big Hit. And then I just impulse bought it for £5. So I'm going to lend that to you, man. And trust me, you are going to love the shit out of that film. It's 90s cheese, and you get Captain Sisko from Star Trek. Is it Voyager or Deep Space Nine?
Deep Space Nine.
As a mob boss. It's great.
Captain Sisko.
It is actually a brilliant film.
Yeah.
It takes the piss out of itself, does it?
Yeah.
Oh man, does it? It's totally 90s.
Like it knows exactly. Like, okay, you know what that is? The Big Hit. What is the original Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh,
it's the original Aquaman. It's the original. I know what I am, and I'm gonna lean into it hard.
Yeah.
Right. I was thinking. Is that the guy, the Young Guns guy that's in it? The one that was the guy that was in 24, season 1, meets up with. That's the guy. Okay. That's who he is. I never remember that guy's name. I remember everyone from the cast of Young Guns, but apart from Diamond Phillips, never remember his name. But okay, fair dues. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it now. Yeah, I like that actor, especially if he's in a comedy. He's got good comedy timing for some reason.
You know what?
Yeah, go on.
The film has a nice little piece of what is now history, because I'm not going to tell you what happens, but part of the film takes place in a video store.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's right. It takes place in a video store.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, I like that. That's pretty cool.
In fact, that's where the finale, the end action set piece, is in a video store.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It will definitely give you flashbacks from your Warner Brothers days of building standees. That plays a key part in this movie.
Standees still exist, right?
Yeah, they still exist,
okay.
but not
as prominent as they used to be.
Bigger, yeah. Ever since they went digital, it's just certain films will get standees and stuff. So yeah. Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well then. All right. Well, we've gone off track a little bit. I guess.
So
bring it back on.
Coming next, Ryan Reynolds is in Dragon's Lair for Netflix. They're making a Dragon's Lair film.
Fantastic. Another flurry of films I will never ever see.
Our video game adaptation, Dragon's Lair. You know the game, right, Joe?
Dragon's Lair. Yeah, the animated one.
Yeah, the animated one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I I know how to feel about this because Don Bluth. For those that don't know who Don Bluth is, Don Bluth was a Disney animator back in the day, and then he went renegade, and then he did like American Tail. He did with Spielberg and Lucas. He did Five Goes West. He did all the American Tales. He did Land Before Time. He did Thumbelina. He did
Thumbelina.
Yeah, Thumbelina. He did Ferngully. He did basically whenever you had a Disney film, he was the other guy. You know what I mean? The other guy doing his stuff. You know, Prince of Egypt. That was him. You know what I mean?
Any non-Disney animated film.
Yeah, that's right. Titan AE, that was him. Treasure Planet, before Disney bought it, that was him. So that was kind of his like, yeah, I'm back, but he wasn't back, if you know what I mean. It was like, oh, they just bought it off the box. But yeah, he's been trying to, over the past like 10 years, he's been trying to make a Dragon's Lair film. Like, that video game, he wanted to make into a proper film. They had script, everything. It was him and the key writer of the video game. They basically wrote a film and they were like, look, we've still got all the original art assets. They're all in pristine condition. We just want to they wanted to crowdfund it. And it obviously it must have failed because we still ain't got no Dragon's Lair movie. But personally, I wanted to see that as a movie, like just do it as a proper movie, like 2D cell shaded stuff.
So you mean animated movie? Say animated movie, because when you say movie, you want to see it as a movie. It causes confusion because I was confused there for 2 seconds.
Okay. You know what? But,
I do know, yeah.
But you know, Netflix want to do a live action one with Ryan Reynolds. I mean, you know what? I could see him as Dirk, the hero, there because it's kind of the same kind of spiel, I guess. But yeah, I'd much rather have been like the animated movie. You know?
Right.
Yeah, it's like Netflix. Why don't you just like back Don Bluth? But then, how did they get the right? Maybe Don Bluth like sold them the rights, and maybe he wants to fund. I don't know, man. I don't know how it works, but. He must have made a deal with them because, you know, they've got the rights to go make this live action show. So Don Bluth must be getting paid.
Is it a show or a film?
It's a film.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
I couldn't care less about the film, but in the same vein, I think all of it once Netflix starts to get a groove and manages to pump enough money into it, once they have the right talent making the right films and they start advertising the films that they have, I think that will help. For now,
well, they kind of have begun that kind of trend because I mean, well, speaking of Ryan Reynolds, his film on Netflix, Six Underground.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I forgot about that.
So they were really pushing hard on that.
Yeah, they did because like everyone that owns Netflix has more or less seen it. It was a good film. What was I going to say? Speaking of Ryan Reynolds news, actually, does anyone remember Space Ace?
No.
It was by Don Bluth as well, and it was the same as the team behind Dragon's Lair. It was like a space sci-fi version of Dragon's Lair.
No, I don't think I remember that one.
Well, you can download it on your phone right now for free.
I'm good.
Yeah. It's freaking hard, by the way.
I don't know. Anything that's free is always trying to sell me something. I'm sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. sorry. I'm sounding like a really old man here, which I am. But the game I'm playing at the moment is Risk, and every 2 minutes, hey, why didn't you buy some credit? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Wow, it's the amount of energy that this game tries to put into selling me something they could put into an actual good game. It's
totally unrelated movie talk here right now, but I feel it's kind of related to what you just said. Don't you just hate mobile fucking games when they try to walk the earth with advertising.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, that's it.
Shit out.
Slightly related to it, you can get certain really old games like Sonic the Hedgehog or Streets of Rage. You can get those games on your phone.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but you can get them free.
You can download them for free.
Yeah.
But if you want to play the game without adverts, you have to pay.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's okay. I can do without that.
Each their own, man. The whole monetization thing I think is going to kill the industry. It's killing my interest in video games. But I'm going to shift off of this back into films. Where I lie with stuff like what was the game? What was the
Dragon's Lair. If
you're going to do something like that, I think would you think a platform like Netflix is the right place to put it, or would you like to give it a bit more? Because I think it's coming down to prestige now over. Because when something has prestige, people want to see it, and
I don't know. I feel like Netflix probably is a better place for something like Dragon's Lair than trying to actually make it and stick it in a cinema, because it's Dragon's Lair. It's not Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
Like the Hedgehog.
Gotcha.
A game that is like universally loved and was remixed and rebuilt, and there was Dragon's Lair 2, 3, 4, 5, Dragon's Lair the remix, Dragon's Lair 3D, Dragon's Lair 64. it didn't go that way.
Right. It came and went.
There's a couple of games of Dragon's Lair, but it's not,
it's not renowned.
Yes, that's it. Perfect word. It's not renowned. So I feel like the best way to get around to do it is you stick it on Netflix.
Right. To get into the zeitgeist a little bit.
Yeah, chances are most people who play the game will have access to Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the thing of, it tugs on the nostalgia strings, which is like, right now the literal, like, the big, other than, superheroes, it's the biggest cash cow is nostalgia for the 80s.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my gosh, yeah, it is. I mean, I guess Stranger Things is the biggest guilty party of that, which I've still not. I haven't seen. I got halfway through season 1. I was at Sacha's place. I managed to watch the rest of season 1 and started on season 2. And I don't know. I just haven't. No, I can't say it did.
Do you know what helped grip me? I mean, I have no idea if it would help, but what helped grip me with Stranger Things was I just watched 2 films.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them back to back. They were 2 very different films, but I watched them back to back, and then I was in.
Okay.
I watched Goonies, and I watched The Thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah. Now that you say that actually makes perfect sense, because Stranger Things is literally those 2 films.
Yeah, and it did work because it was like, it kind of draws me in, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And then watching it, I'm like, yeah, sold.
Yeah. I at this point, I feel like the older guys that hates everything from his past.
Guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah. Oh, you want to watch that? Oh God, if we have to, kind of thing. Yeah. So at some point, I guess I'll get back to it. At the moment, I'm watching Game of Thrones from beginning to end again, and have discovering a lot of things that I missed about foreshadowing. So yeah. If people couldn't figure out Daenerys was going to do what she was going to do at the end of the season, at the beginning of the series, then yeah, it's all there. It's all there. Anyway, Sach, what else?
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, what did people think of the trailer for Free Guy?
It's all right.
I didn't like it as much as I thought I would.
Yeah?
It's all right. Oh, that's a trailer. It's cool. It's got Ryan Reynolds in it. That's literally what I thought about it. I'm willing to see it. It's not a film that. Oh my God! Have you seen that film about the video game thing? Blah 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 blah. I wouldn't mention it to anyone. If someone brought it up, I'll talk about it. But it's servable. It's a decent trailer. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it's the thing of it's essentially right now I feel like on the comedy spectrum there are basically there's just 2 points, and there is Kevin Hart, and then there is Ryan Reynolds. you want action comedy with someone who is like, I can legitly beat the living shit out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You go Ryan Reynolds. You want the comedy of like, I could legitly be murdered by a cat. You get Kevin Hart.
Okay, yeah.
It's like obviously it's just of those spectrums. Is the one guy who we've seen, whether good or bad, we all saw Blade Trinity, and you've seen Ryan Reynolds with no shirt on, you've seen Deadpool,
Mm-hmm.
you've seen The Hitman's Bodyguard, you've seen him in films. He is an action star.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like, but he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then you've got Kevin Hart, who is not an action star. Right? So it's that level of, that's that kind of playing field. I feel like right now, it's like, oh, Kevin Hart's in the off season, and
right.
Ryan Reynolds is in the in season right now.
Right. The thing I do like about Kevin Hart is his work ethic. I don't like any of his films per se, but he works as hard as The Rock, if some cases harder. I admire that, because I could never do it. It's simply a work ethic that I think at least some people can possess. But yeah, you're right in the terms of your comparison. Going back to the film, I don't know what to make of it, because I've seen films like that before, Pixels being one of them. I know how Pixels ended up. What do you think of it, Sach?
People got paid. That's what that movie should have been called. People got paid.
How do you... Oh, Pixels? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Keep with that mindset.
Okay, so Pixels started off as a short film by this French guy, French YouTuber. He made a short film called Pixels, and it blew up over the internet. It actually went viral and stuff, and people, it was cool looking, and it was a cool short film. It didn't go to no film festivals and stuff. It's literally bang, I made this with visual effects, go internet, boom.
Okay.
Knock at the door, Adam Sandler's there with a wad of cash, going, "Hey, can I take that and like make a Adam Sandler movie out of it? Here's what we're willing to pay you." Motherfucker said, "Yeah, do what you want. I'll take the cash."
Well, hey, I would have took the cash too.
If the price is right. Yeah.
How far can you really go with it?
Yeah.
The idea is good, but you can't really go that far.
Put it this way: if Adam Sandler came to my yard and just basically gave me a wad of cash and was like, "Hey, I want to do the little guy," I'll be like, "I'll be one term and condition. Sam's the little guy, and you're like the bad guy or something, or maybe you're like his sidekick. I'll watch that movie. Go make it." That'll be my only term and condition. Sam would.
What if he turned around and he told you, Josh Gad's gonna be the little guy? I'd say no dice.
Seriously, I very much doubt it, Sach. But I'll.
You know what? I'll be honest. Sach, you keep your credibility and your you keep that intact. He'd have come to me and been like, "Okay, this idea that you've got that you love, I want it." And I know that you envision Keanu Reeves, but it's going to be Josh Gad. And,
Josh Gad.
there. If they said Josh Gad, I'd be like, no deal ever. No deal.
What's wrong with Josh Gad?
You know what?
Sorry, I'm mistaking Josh Gad for Jamie, Gavin and Spacey guy. Stacey guy.
Oh, what?
James Cordell.
James Corden.
Yeah, him too.
Who did you say? Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is to bring it back round. Pixels wasn't great from what I know of it.
That's an understatement.
I say it wasn't great because I haven't seen it. I don't know how bad it can go. But Free Guy doesn't look like Pixels to me. Compared to the two trailers, I think that what it is
serviceable.
Yeah, but I think as well, it's not my type of gaming movie.
Right.
Because right now, seeing like all of it looks like if your gaming lifestyle is, Fortnite or them kind of games, absolutely, you're gonna love it. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna be like, this is a dream come true. It's everything I needed. That's not my kind of game.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel like,
Neil?
Huh?
What is your kind of game?
What is my kind of game? Well, I like more, if I like joke games, and obviously it's, things like Super Mario, man, that's what I grew up with. That's what I still play now. I've got my Nintendo Mini, I've got my SNES Mini. I play those. But of modern games, I like my, the Rockstar Batman games and the Assassin's Creed games. I loved, Jedi Fallen Order. So I'm good with those kind of games. Like games like Fortnite and that don't interest me, not even the slightest.
Oh right, those what's it called? What they called
open, not open world, but like just
yes,
run around.
It's like a cartoonish Counter-Strike.
Yeah, like I'm not feeling those kind of games.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that play them. A lot of people I used to work with play them as well because it was easy to pick up and play. I need something over a little bit more substance.
Like I want a storyline in my game.
Yeah.
I want it like I'm playing this game to get an ending.
Yeah. I want some finality to it. I like games like Resident Evil or Metal Gear or something that has like a replay factor to it. Once I've done it, if I play through it again, I'll discover something new. I like games like that. I've gone way off the bookend, but I know what you mean.
I think its number one appeal is Ryan Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, there's nothing about the game that really has me thinking like, that's like when everything's done and it's like, oh, Free Guy comes out in 2 weeks, I'm not gonna be like, I need to make sure I've got that Friday afternoon evening free. I'm gonna be like, Free Guy comes out when? In 2 weeks? Maybe we'll see what happens in 2 weeks.
Yeah. As bad as the Star Wars franchise has got, if there was a Star Wars film coming out over that, I would go to watch Star Wars. Yeah, purely because
I'm biased with Star Wars, right? As good or as bad as whatever the next run of film will be, I'm still midnight screening. It's going to take a lot for me to be like, no, I'm not watching.
Yeah. I mean, I have the same sentiment. I feel quite disenfranchised by it at the moment. But again, just going on comparison, if choosing, what was that film called? The Ryan Reynolds one?
Free Guy.
Say again?
Free Guy.
Free Guy. So if Free Guy comes out and there's a new Star Wars film coming out the day after, I'm going to watch that Star Wars film, even if it's a day after. So yeah, that's my level of excitement. I know it's written by the Deadpool guys, right?
Yeah.
That's the only saving grace for it for me. That it'll probably be funny, and that's it. I can't.
Those guys are on a roll. All three of those guys are on a roll. Ever since Deadpool, you've got Detective Pikachu, you've got
oh yeah, that's right.
You did. And Michael was 6 Underground. You've got this. You've got whatever Marvel offering of Deadpool is. They're like a threesome, man. And you know what? I saw Zombieland 2.
That was good. I saw that the other day.
I love the cameo at the end.
The same cameo in the first one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it for people that haven't seen it, but definitely check it out. It's worth the watch. Moving on, I've added something to the conversation mainly because this isn't breaking. This news came out a few months ago, but I think it's good to talk about it.
It's definitely not breaking then.
It's another Netflix film, Joe. Unfortunately.
Oh, fantastic!
For you, but it's one that I think you'd be kind of semi-interested in. Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Nah, not interested.
You're not interested?
No. What? Especially if Netflix is doing it.
Well, here's the thing.
Look, let me just be clear. I have nothing against Netflix. I just don't think they make very good films. I saw the Scorsese one now, which is actually good, but it's just too fucking long.
See, I avoided it because of all that shit.
I disagree.
Right.
I don't think it's long. I think it's quite late.
It's really long.
It's 3.5 hours.
I'll never watch it again, but it's a good film.
Yeah.
It's too long.
But I'm sure at some point I'll watch it, but like I need to get over all Scorsese's shit talk about Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel comment.
No, I'm sorry, it's gotta happen that way. Because you know what? It's not even the fact that it's Marvel. Obviously the fact that it's Marvel affects me because lifelong comic book fan, all of that. But what affects me, what gets me is I'm like, you're Martin Scorsese. You are arguably one of the biggest names in the realms of making films.
Yeah.
You have so little class that you need to shit talk the genre that's up and running right now and making the most amount of money because nobody wanted to give you the money to finance your 3.5 hour movie.
That was full of visual effects.
Right? I'm like, that's all it goes down to. And furthermore, the company that is pushing all these films out that you so just generously dislike, or they're not movies to you, they helped you in your pursuit of this 3.5 hour movie, because if it wasn't for the de-aging technology that came through with films like
ILM,
Legacy, and then obviously Marvel using it for things like flipping Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, right?
De-aging, yeah.
The de-aging technology, and I'm like, screw all of that. You ain't happy with your movie.
Okay, so we've gone completely off point, but let me just interject here because this has become a topic now, which is good, which is why it's kind of frequent. Okay, these are the exact thing he said. This is exactly what he said. Okay, he goes, I tried, but when asked if he'd seen the Marvel movies, and he turned around and he said, but that's not cinema. Honestly, the closest thing I could think of them, as well made as they are, they're doing their best under the circumstances, but they're theme park rides. Now, here's the thing, okay? That was his quote. Before you go off on one like every fanboy on the internet.
No, I'm not going to go off on one because I'm going to ask a very simple question.
Okay, what's the question?
Who gives him the right?
Well, he's allowed to have that right.
Who gives him the right to dictate what is cinema? If you it's an opinion and it's an opinion and that's all there is to it.
But that is an opinion.
When he said that, and
that is an opinion.
Francis Ford Coppola jumping out the bag.
That's his opinion.
But here's the thing. He says that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, let's go back 30 years.
Yeah.
Or 25 years.
Yeah.
How many people were saying the same thing about gangster movies? He makes a lot more films than gangster movies.
Yeah.
But, when people are turning around and saying, oh, you know what? The Last Temptation of Christ? Or, Mean Streets? Right? When people are there cutting off him in his films, he should have a little. To me, you'd have a little bit more class than to turn around and say they're not cinema to me. They're not movies to me. I'm like, look. Even if you say that's to you, you can be like, you know what, I tried, but I didn't
But
really
he did
enjoy
say
them.
that. He
Just
did
leave
say
it in
that.
that.
But he did.
He started out right. He started in the right way when he was like, I tried. But to then go on and be like, they're not movies to me. Like, look, bro.
But
You got a few
he's allowed to have that
movies under your belt that there's a lot of other people who say those aren't.
Yeah, but he's allowed to have that opinion. You know what I mean? And I totally get why he would say that, because
Yeah, but
No, I don't. Sorry, no, I totally disagree with that. Sorry, Satch, but Lucas himself, De Palma, they were all those guys making those films back then in the 70s.
Yeah.
So he has no right to say that. No right whatsoever. When George Lucas was doing his thing, when Spielberg was doing his thing, they're all doing what they wanted to do. They were the guys. And now, because they're not the guys anymore, they're well, at least 3 of them. Because Lucas is still relevant, even though he doesn't do anything. Spielberg's still relevant. De Palma to a degree.
De Palma hasn't been relevant for decades, man.
Yeah.
Decades? What do you mean?
Decades. I haven't seen a good De Palma film since the 90s.
Fair enough.
That's my own opinion.
Yeah.
That's my own personal opinion. It can be, that Mars film, Mission to Mars, Val Kilmer, fuck that.
Yeah.
That fucking Scarlett Johansson, Josh Hartnett film, The Black Delilah, fuck that film. And I'm running out of films because I don't think he's done a lot since, to be honest.
No, he's concentrated on documentaries in the past few years.
But the thing is, though, it's like, to me, I'm not saying that, that Marvel films or comic book films in general need to be every year, just like, oh, these are the Oscar-winning films. No, that's not the case. You might get the odd exception, Joker or something.
Yeah.
But these aren't these. But these films are made for the process of, for me, what is cinema, which is an experience where you go to the cinema, you sit down, and you are taken somewhere. You are taken out of your real life. You're taken out of the real world that you live in, and for an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes more, you're going to sit there and you're going to be immersed in a world that is not your own.
Yeah.
Right? Comic book movies do that way more than almost any other thing outside of, say, sci-fi. Like, they do that because in with all the crap that goes on in the world on a regular basis, I don't need to see another film about a rich white guy doing things doing things that are deplorable, right? You show me one who made a suit of armor that flies, I'm good.
Yeah, I like that comparison.
And on top of that, what makes it worse is, to kind of touch onto it, is you look at the people, the detractors of the kind of comic book movies.
Yeah.
You got Scorsese, you've got Ford Coppola, you've got even James Cameron, right? And I'm like, you guys are supposed to be the bar. What it means to be a real good, an actual filmmaker. That you come up with an idea, you grow that idea, you mature that idea. It's like bread. You knead the dough of that idea, make your film, and you sit back and let the world basically kiss your pinky toe. Right? That's how you guys are supposed to be the bar of that. And right now, because maybe your film is no longer the highest grossing film of all time, or because nobody wants to give you money to make a 3.5-hour movie about gangsters, or whatever your circumstances are, you're not feeling it, and you're just, it's not for me.
Okay, but it must be frustrating for those filmmakers that want to make something that isn't a comic book movie. Studios.
Because the thing is,
studios won't. No, hear me out. You don't have to be a Scorsese to not have things backed. You could be like someone from the indie realm or someone that's there that isn't on his level. But the fact is, it's affecting people like him, like Spielberg. Spielberg almost didn't get Lincoln made because it wasn't a comic book movie. That's a fact, because Liam Neeson was supposed to be Abraham Lincoln. It kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. Why? No one wanted to fund it. No one wanted to fund it.
No, I do understand that. I absolutely.
But the point being is, okay, please let me finish, okay? All right. It's like, it's really hard to like make something on a decent budget of like, like a 200 million or over 100 million budget on a period piece, doing a gangster movie, doing any other genre. You know what? What's that? Oh, who did the A-Team and
Joe Carnahan.
Joe Carnahan. Okay, so he's written a script called it's just gone out of my mind. But it's a book. It's based on a book which is the sequel to LA Confidential.
Right.
LA Confidential is an Oscar-winning movie, and at one point he had Russell Crowe and Guy Pearce signed for this film, and Warner Brothers didn't want to back it because no one will touch a big budget, close to $100 million movie that's a old school kind of gangster pop thriller from the 30s anymore.
Okay, why does that film cost 100 million? If Ridley Scott can make Prometheus for 90, I don't see why that should cost plus 100.
But there's different circumstances there.
How? Prometheus is a sci-fi film.
Okay, Joe. All right. Are you a producer?
No.
Okay, no. Now here's the thing: you've got to segue into star costs, how the method the director's going to shoot it. There's so many different ways. Like, it depends on what the vision is as well. You know what I mean? For example, Ridley Scott is a very flexible director. He can do CGI things, etc. But if you're someone that wants something more practical, well, something more practical costs a lot more money. You know what I mean? So it depends on what the director is. Now I'm going into a bigger conversation here.
That's the point of a podcast, man.
Yeah, I know. But for example, I'll give you an example. Gangs of New York. Okay, that whole opening scene, those were all physical sets that were built.
Cool.
Okay? All physical sets that were built to.
It's quite a different era as well, though.
Huh?
There's a completely different era as well.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what? It was built around the time when you could just blue screen it. Like George Lucas showed up on that set. He looked at it and was like, I could just do it in my living room. Like literally, watch About a Menace. We can do this. You don't need to spend all this money.
Which brings me to that point as well. Those guys said that it's going to be a recurring problem if the budgets for films keep going up and up and up.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's the thing that
you're not wrong, but hear me out. I'm still trying.
All right, Sach, go on.
I'm still trying to articulate my point. Now, the point being is, there are certain films that can't get made because obviously the director wants to film it a certain way, a certain look, etc. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that probably would never have got filmed if it wasn't a Tarantino film. Okay, hands down, would never have got filmed. Okay, if it wasn't a Tarantino film. If Tarantino wasn't Tarantino, they would have told him, you need to CGI that, you need to do this. But he believed that it needed to be that authentic to 60s Hollywood, right? Okay, so it's those kind of filmmaking decisions and where your budget goes. If you're the kind of person like a Robert Rodriguez, or if you're a Marvel movie, you're thinking of, shit, I need to make the best out of my buck. You know what I mean? And obviously, those guys have so many home runs that they've gotten to the point with the studios where they can do whatever they want, But unfortunately, normal film directors, they don't have the hit list of Marvel does because their films don't bring us in as much. Look at Martin Scorsese's previous movie before. Silence, huge flop. But you know what? He wanted to do it because he had that script for 28 years. Same with The Irishman. He had that script for many, many years, since the 1990s. So, he's at that age where he wants to do passion projects, and the only way he's ever going to get funded and stuff like that is places like Netflix, unfortunately. But he's a proper cinemaphile where he wants it shown on the big screen. And the thing is, other studios aren't willing to take the gamble of that because of the cost that would take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing: like, we gotta be real about certain things, bro. We gotta be really, really.
Yeah. But hear me out.
Like,
I still haven't finished, dude. I still haven't finished.
Well, get to the point, man.
The point being is that, you know what I mean? Like, he's not interested in Marvel movies, and here's the thing: he's an old guy. He never read a comic book. He even said that when he rebutted and proper talked about it. He didn't grow up on this stuff. He never understood the pop culture of it. He's of that era where comics are for kids, you know. And my old man's like that. My dad doesn't understand the whole Iron Man thing, etc. A lot of old parents in their 70s.
No, sorry, don't buy it. He grew up in that era. He grew up in that era of comic books, and
Yeah, but you got to understand, everyone grew up in an era where you could pick up a comic book, but to some people would gravitate towards it, others wouldn't. I've got friends that would laugh at me whenever, and I bought comic books, I was hardcore into it, same as Neil, but I had friends that would laugh at me and just be, why are you buying a comic book? Spider-Man, that's not a big deal. And guess what? Those same people are now queuing up to watch these Marvel movies. You know what I mean? Because the pop culture has changed, you know?
Yeah.
That everything's changed, but you know, these guys, they didn't grow up on that stuff. It's quite clear that what kind of stuff Scorsese grew up. He was not that guy. He was not us. You know what I mean? So Marvel movies, like, what the hell? I don't get this. Okay, so it's another comic book blockbuster. You know what I mean? And that's fine. He's got that point of view. But obviously, it's going to upset people that are really into that stuff. But at the same time, that's just his opinion. Who gives a fuck?
he must really hate George Lucas then.
But you know what? The gist to this, because I had a couple of points that came to you explaining your point.
Yeah.
One of them is this. Really and truly, and this is going to sound horrible to a lot of individuals, but hey, these are the times. You got to be realistic with what you want.
Yeah.
If you can't make your idea, if you can't get your idea invested, then you got two choices, or you got multiple choices. One of them, choose a new idea. Another one, finance it yourself. And the third one is scale back your idea. Right? If you can't get it, if you can't make it the way you want to make it because you need a certain amount of money, hey, kill your babies. Some of them scenes got to go.
These guys know that though,
right? But that's the thing.
Still.
No, hold on.
You're Disney. I'm going to give you two projects. Okay.
So that's one thing. And we do live in a time where, like you said, there are people like Rodriguez who's like, you know what?
Yeah.
What's the budget you're going to give me? We're going to give you 90 million.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll take it. Right?
Yeah.
So that in case is one clear thing. Plus, you've got people like when they're saying about, oh, you know what, non-big names, so not your Scorsese, not your Tarantinos, not your Spielbergs, who can't get films made. I'm like, you know what? Look at what's his name? I think it's Lee Winnell or Lin Winnell, right? The guy who did Upgrade, the guy who did.
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm like, why does your film cost that amount of money? Okay, yeah, you're talking about star power, right?
Yeah.
You absolutely, is there, like, have we skipped the idea of casting calls now, right?
Yeah.
Has casting calls disappeared? Because
Yeah,
I'm like,
but-
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
but
you
Neil,
do need
Neil.
stars. You do
Yeah,
no. You make a film. Yes,
Yeah.
films are the money for films do mainly get generated by star power.
Yeah.
You turn around, you walk to the studio, and you say, "I want to make a film, and I want $100 million to make it." And they were like, "Okay, who you got?" And you're like, "Well, I got Julia Roberts and I got George Clooney." They're like, "Here's 120, keep your change," right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, do casting calls. Why, I'm like, and furthermore, even if you can't do casting calls, like you're Martin Scorsese, you are part of the reason that these guys like Joe Pesci, that these guys like Robert De Niro. You're part of the reason that they have the careers they have. You can't say to them, look, I'm having some problem financing the film. You can't, help a brother out. Maybe you do the film for less than you would do another film for. I mean, even look at the example of Spike Lee when he did Malcolm X, right? When the studio was like, you ain't getting no more money. Yeah. You know what he did? He went and he crowdfunded. Before crowdfunding was a thing, he called all his famous friends.
Yeah.
Told them, he was like, look,
at the same time, not everyone
back.
That, Neil. Not everyone thinks like that. Not everyone thinks like that, dude.
Then, to be honest, unfortunately, and this is really going to sound horrible, I'm like, if they don't think like that, that's on them.
Yeah, but at the same time, and that's a separate conversation now. Right. We've now entered into another realm now. That's another realm. That's not the subject at hand. Fact is, guy doesn't like Marvel movies. Yeah.
I know that's the thing. I have no problem with someone not liking.
Anyway,
I have no problem with someone not liking something.
Back to the original point in the article, which is kind of related. Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Okay. Well,
Beverly Hills Cop 4. Do you know why it's at Netflix?
Do I know why it's at Netflix?
Yeah, why?
Probably because nobody else really wants a piece of it.
Okay, do you know why there hasn't been a Beverly Hills Cop 4 for so long?
Because of Eddie Murphy?
They tried to do a TV show and they were filming the pilot and then they just cut it.
Yeah, well, Eddie Murphy cut it.
Okay. No, he didn't cut it. The studio cut it.
He came out with an interview. He said he.
No, that wasn't his decision. It was the studio.
No, it wasn't. Let me finish, because this is what he said. Okay, because there was a big interview with Eddie Murphy.
He doesn't own the property. Paramount do.
Wow, thank you. Can I finish? Can I tell the story? Okay, so basically there was a conversation about Beverly Hills Cop. They brought up the TV show. Now he was all cool for it to be a TV show and to have someone else and it be his nephew. He was
No, it was his son.
His son, nephew, whatever. I don't know the ins and outs of the thing. Okay, his dog. Okay, whatever. Beverly Hills Pup, whatever. Anyway, point being is, he's what do you call it? His terms and conditions was he's only going to cameo in the pilot and that's it. Mm-hmm. The TV people thought he was going to be in the show like every week, and he basically said no. I've got no interest in doing the TV show. Okay, especially a down Beverly Hills Cop, and that's why it fell apart. The pilot had a good test screening, and that made them want to put Murphy in it more. And Murphy didn't want to do it because he was just like, unless the show is that good, I will do it. But you can't guarantee that on a weekly basis kind of thing. And he didn't really want to do it anyway. So he was just like, he only wants to do stuff that he wants to do at this point in his career. So why Cop 4? Well, this is why. We all saw Beverly Hills Cop 3, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, here's the thing. We all know the story about Beverly Hills Cop and Beverly Hills Cop 2, right? Beverly Hills Cop 1 was written for a generic action hero. Sly Stallone had first dibs. He wrote a script that was really dark and gritty, and they threw him out. Tried Arnie, tried Willis, tried every tough guy in Hollywood. Yeah. And then 48 Hours came out, and then they were like, let's go with Murphy. They kept the script the same, but Murphy ad-libbed his whole lines, and everyone else reacted off of what the material he gave to them. Okay? Right. And that's how Cop 1 was filmed. Cop 2, Tony Scott just put the camera on him. He just did what he did. But when signing Cop 2, he signed, of course, for a third one. And the difference is with the third one was the studio had a script. And they more or less, because they had him under contract, they more or less said, yeah, this is the script. You can't ad-lib. We think this is funny. And he got mad about it. He didn't like that. It shows in the movie when you rewatch it. It's not the Beverly Hills Cop that people really love or remember. But he's always wanted to do another Beverly Hills Cop, but he's always wanted to do it on his terms and condition that they make it like the first two films. You know what I mean? It has to be R-rated. He has to be able to do and have the free range to do the jokes that he wants to do, a.k.a. Eddie Murphy, raw style Eddie Murphy. But over the past 20 years, with the whole resurgence of doing Die Hard 4 and Indiana Jones 4 and all the old action heroes and stuff, we've entered the 12A world. And Paramount would only do a Beverly Hills Cop if it was a 12A, which meant it would have been the same quality as Beverly Hills Cop 3, in which case Eddie Murphy was not interested in doing that. And the Netflix deal, where he does Dolomite Is My Name, and then the 3 comedy specials that he's still yet to do. He turned around and he said, hey, if you guys could pay Paramount whatever it takes, I would gladly do Beverly Hills Cop if you let me go and do my thing and have it be R-rated. And they went to Paramount. They paid them whatever that big large amount is, somewhere in the 200 million range, because that's how much Paramount would have paid if it was a 12A. Boom, they're making Cop 4. Now, I'm up for seeing R-rated Eddie Murphy. If it takes Netflix to get the old guy back, well, I'll tell you what, I see Dolomite Is My Name, and that is a good film.
If I'm honest, I'm still not really heavily interested in it, but mainly because the times have changed. I think it will perfectly work for people who watched and grew up and loved Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and were like, okayed with Beverly Hills Cop 3, but really and truly, like, the times have changed so much. Dolomite works, but Dolomite's based on a real story. It's based on a real person.
That's right.
And it's not Eddie Murphy being Eddie Murphy. It's Eddie Murphy being Rudy Ray Moore.
Yeah.
Right? So it works on several levels. But can I really see Axel Foley pulling off an Axel Foley? Because you think, you watch, like, the time comes to you and you get to watch Beverly Hills Cop, just 1 and 2, tomorrow or within the next week or something, and you watch it and you look at a lot of those jokes, how they land. We don't live in the kind of world that will allow those jokes to land. Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right. And you're going to have to be trying to do, and even if it's like, Paramount wanted a watered down version, at the end of the day, we're going to get a watered down version.
Yeah.
Right. No matter what Eddie Murphy wants, no matter what he says, we're getting a watered down version. Because I'm going to be honest, the second you utter that word, that F word, right? And I ain't talking about fuck. When you utter that word, problems, right? I'm like, you look at how we live in cancel culture, how people's careers are getting just wiped off the map, or things that they want to do get wiped off the map solely because of, you made this tweet 10 years ago and right? And people basically getting offended for nothing and everything. I don't know how a Beverly Hills Cop lands. And also, more importantly, in the world where your action heroes are John Wick,
silent protagonist,
John Wick, your Jason Bourne, that type of hero. Obviously, they're not police officers, but in a world where that's your type of hero, I don't see where Eddie Murphy as a cop lands. It would be the equivalent of seeing like a Lethal Weapon 5. Like, I don't see where that lands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're doing Lethal Weapon 5, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they are anymore. I remember that was the plan, but I don't think that's happening anymore. Yeah, I could be wrong.
What's your thoughts on Cop 4?
I couldn't care less.
Fair enough.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't anyone that watches Netflix is not a dig on Netflix, because Netflix make better TV shows than they make films. But any film that goes to Netflix, that's the bargain bin for me. I look what happened to what's that Paradox film?
Oh, Cloverfield.
Yeah. Woo.
That's the best thing to happen to it.
No, it wasn't. It's the worst. That's the worst. No. That's the worst thing to happen to it. Worst thing.
Well, worst thing to happen to it is if
it was the best thing. It was the best thing for Paramount, because that's off our hands. Good luck, Netflix. Good luck.
But you don't see that as a good thing for
no.
guys that make the film.
No. No, because it's a that's not a good film. It's not about who benefits from it. It's not a good film. As far as I can see it, Netflix's name is all over it. It's not a good film. And that's the recurring thing that I see with Netflix movies. Their TV shows are better than their films.
Well, Joe, one thing I was going to say, right, is that right up until the current state of things in the world, Netflix were basically taking that actual proper forward step into actual Netflix films that really did hit the mark, because they did, so they did Six Underground, they did what's Scorsese's joint, the Irishman, right? They did those two, and they were actually really pushing for Netflix films. And I think they got one, I can't remember the title, it escapes me right now, but it had like The Rock in it, and it was like a $250 million movie that they were putting together. I don't know if it was Redborn or something, or like it was like the name does escape me right now. But
it escapes me as well. I know exactly what you're talking about. So, not San Andreas. Oh no, I can't think of the name of the film.
Whatever it was, that they were really pushing hard to make these films. I think it was The Rock and Gal Gadot.
No, it's not ringing a bell now.
I'm sure that somebody who's listening, they're going to say the name straight away. I'm sorry, I'm not that bright right now.
Yeah, but I do know the film you're talking about. I just can't remember the name.
Red Notice. That's the name.
Red Notice. Okay, yeah, yeah.
So they were putting really hard, because it was like the most expensive Netflix film today.
Right.
So they were really pushing hard.
Has it come out?
No, they haven't even made it yet.
Oh, right, yeah. And it's got Ryan Reynolds in it.
Yeah, it was like Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, Gal Gadot. It was like an all-star action cast of new action.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I've never heard of this one.
Have you?
Yeah, but they were actually putting in the work, and they were putting in the groundwork to get their films really, really pushed forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, given time, they will be a force to reckon with. The only problem that they have is, because of the nature of what they are, a streaming service, no matter how good they make a film, I mean, at the end of the day, Netflix could have made The Joker, right? It wouldn't be an acclaimed film. It wouldn't be pushed the way people expect it to be pushed, because there is always going to be, until normal TV no longer exists and everything is a streaming service, there's always going to be that stigma of, but it's not a real movie, it's a streaming service movie. And I'm like,
I disagree. I don't know. You guys are very passionate about this, but I see it as another platform, man, to see stuff. I mean, like, for example, say you made a film at a film festival now.
Yeah.
And you've made that film, and Netflix come and offer you a deal to put it on their platform.
Yeah, that benefits me. There's no mark on the quality of the film.
Well, what I think in regards to that, what you're saying, Sash,
worked for Roma.
No, but what I was going to say with that is, there's a difference between a film that has been made and put on Netflix, and a film that Netflix themselves have financed to be made.
Right.
So it's like,
I get it.
With a film like, Roma, I'm like, everybody was like, I haven't seen it myself, but every time I heard the word Roma in regards to a film, it was like, this film is the business, right? But I'm like, Netflix ain't really gonna get that, because it's like, once you know Netflix are the reason this film is being made, as opposed to Netflix just scooped it up, there's a certain aspect to it.
Okay, well, I'll say this: the way Amazon go about financing their films I think is a little better, because they co-finance with. We'll co-finance it with so and so. Here's the deal: it will go into theaters, it will go into Blu-ray, blah blah blah. Then it will be on our streaming service, and
they get exclusive rights, but they don't interfere, so to speak, with the actual film. I'm not saying that Netflix do interfere.
No, at all.
Netflix as a platform, their outlook is probably like, okay, Netflix, their mindset is probably, all right, we need something that's going to immediately grab our
audience. Yeah, the audience. It's boom, it's right there.
To us, you're going to sit down and you're going to watch this. And like, I don't really see them investing, so to speak, in. And I think as well, because like, and it's not a tirade against him again, but I think Scorsese kind of burned them with The Irishman.
Burned them out.
Because it was like a week after, it went into the cinema for like, I think it was like
3 weeks. Yeah, a lot of the cinema chains had a lot.
The time frame is that it has to be in a cinema to be considered
for an Oscar.
Yeah,
for an Oscar. It went in the cinema for that time, then it immediately went onto Netflix, and then it was like the second it hit Netflix, he did an interview and he was like, "Oh well, I only went to Netflix because no one else. I went there out of desperation."
Well, yeah,
and I think the quote was he said that he went there out of desperation. And the thing is, I'm like, these people gave you 200 and whatever million to make this film, your passion project, and then you basically turned around and said, I went there out of desperation. That's literally, that's the equivalent of saying, like, I went to the club, I couldn't find no girl, I called up the ugly girl that I know that always wanted me, and I hit it. Right? I hit the ugly stepsister, just so I could get a nut for the night. Right? And I feel like what that will probably do is Netflix are now going to be like, okay, well, we invested so much time and money into this guy, and he basically was like, yo, this is the ugly stepchild over here. They may turn around and be like, you know what, we're going to be a bit more selective in who we invest our time and money in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think at the end of the day, the whole balance between theatre, streaming, and physical, as long as physical will last, is at a finite stage. No one knows where to place their chips at the moment. Streaming isn't for sure. It's not for sure thing that you're gonna get the return. Definitely. Theatre is, again, it's up. I don't know where things are going, but
I think, to me, it's history repeating itself. It was like, back in the day there was just cinema, and then the TV was invented, and at the time when the TV was invented, it was actually marketed as the
cinema killer,
the cinema, and then it was like, those two didn't exactly go to war. Cinema was just like, yeah, you want to be our replacement? Come get some.
Yeah.
And it was, okay, we're punching a bit above our weight. We'll chill out. You'll keep them in there for 2 hours. We'll keep them over here for the rest of the week. Yes. And then, the battle lines were drawn. Streaming has come in. And I think streaming is essentially, it's like a triple threat match, but streaming is more focused on
convenience,
getting a TV than it is film.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a triple threat match, so everybody getting hit is fair game.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. So I'll end this conversation now by saying this: James Cameron will change the game once again. No cinema chains, here's holographics, boom, I'm out, drop the mic, done. Holographics, you can't replicate it at home. You have to go to a designated place to experience it, boom, drop the mic. James Cameron, done. 4th time in a row. Done. Avatar 4 in holographics, done. No one's ever seen anything like it, done. Yeah, sorry.
You know what the wild thing is, though? If Avatar 2 ain't great, if Avatar 2 ain't great, then unless that man is going to fly me to Pandora, I ain't watching 3 or 4.
I'll tell you what now, right? Like Nintendo, never count James Cameron out. Never count him out, man. Never count him out. He'll just come up. Whoa! I remember when Nintendo. Sorry, I'll get off gaming in a minute. But when Nintendo came out with the Wii, that came out of nowhere. No one saw that coming. Yeah. No one saw it coming. And there's like, what? Nintendo's that? We've got to do that. Why haven't we done that? We've got to do it.
No, they were the king of that. I can remember. I was talking about this the other day. Can you remember E3 when they announced Donkey Kong Country?
No, not really.
Okay. So they were basically showing all the N64 games.
Yeah.
Okay. They're showing all the N64 games. Blah 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 blah. Oh, and here's Donkey Kong Country. Blah 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 blah. And everyone's just, oh wow, that looks nice. N64. And then at the end of the presentation, they're like, no, coming for holiday season this year on Super Nintendo. And everyone was like, what? Because those graphics were revolutionary back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nintendo knew how to market shit that way. They did that time and time again throughout the early 2000s, throughout the whole of the 1990s. They just used to own E3, and then Wii Music came. And then they stopped owning E3. I'll never forget that.
Well, they stopped.
Sony just
they stopped showing up to E3.
They just don't even show up anymore. They're just like, yeah, we got this year. We're not even showing up. They've done that for the past 2 years. They're like,
no, Nintendo's done it longer than that. They started going online way before any of the others did it. Yeah. They're doing Nintendo Directs way before.
Definitely.
So again, going back to James Cameron, I've seen some holographic technology now. I was working on the Olympics.
Say that now.
Yeah, because the Olympics has been cancelled, not cancelled, but postponed. I can say it because I can't show you what it looks like. But while I was working in the Olympics, there was this holographic setup that was brought in.
No, I don't know. Joe works as a freelance graphic designer and gets clients.
I mean, yes, a job's a job. But I was working there, and it's the most. Do you know when you saw the difference between VHS and DVD for the first time?
Yeah,
it's 10 steps beyond that. You can't believe what you're looking at. It's very. That's weird. It's you still need like there's a process to set it up, but when you see it, it's amazing. You start doing that. Your head just starts doing that, and you start to go. And then the next thing you do is try to touch it. that's your and it's whatever's coming down the road, James Cameron's on it. I guarantee you, James Cameron's on it. It's going to be a spectacle. That will be the way to watch films, and from then on, and that's how the theatre will reinvent itself by holographic display.
See, now two things with that. One, with the holographs or
holographics, yeah.
I remember seeing, I think it was a Coachella, where they had Tupac perform, and I was even dead.
Oh, right. No, it wasn't that kind of. This was like you could walk around it, you could put your hand through it.
Oh, proper 3-dimensional, like.
Yes. Yeah, that's.
Told me Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's going to be at the Olympic Games or next year now. I believe it's supposed to be outside the. I don't know where it's going to be placed, but yeah, I think so. Yeah, and it's a simple display. You can only animate. I don't think there's any rules to how much you can animate on it, but the way to build it is quite, because the images is based off 2D images, but brought together. So, because I think I'm saying a bit too much here, but it looks good.
Don't say that.
It looks very good. It looks really good. It's yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Was in that with James Cameron, he basically caused a problem.
3D.
Right? He caused it because I'm like, Avatar's a terrible movie.
Story wise, it's been done.
No, that's what I'm getting. As a film, as a narrative, it is terrible. Well, not terrible.
Fern Gully.
Basic is a very basic story. There's no real heavy takeaway from anything narrative-wise with that film. But as long as I live, if I live to be 100, if technology advances and medicine advances, and I live to be 200, I will never forget
Avatar
for the first time in the cinema.
Yeah.
Because and I remember what scene it was. It was when Jake is in the Avatar and he looks up and
yes, yeah, I remember that.
I was like, that's the realest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I could go to a jungle and look up and see. But the thing is, everything that came after that, like it happens in everything.
Yeah.
But everything that came after that was trying to replicate that budget.
Yeah, it was like when Star Wars came out. After Star Wars came out, every man and his dog tried to replicate what Star Wars looked like. Yeah. No one could quite get it right, apart from ILM.
And it's like, when you're lucky, you get something like a Star Wars or a Blade Runner, where it's like you've made something so iconic, nobody can do it again. However, you do run that thing of, well, everybody's going to try and replicate it, and they're going to try and replicate it on a budget, and what's going to happen is it's just going to water down the entire effect of that thing that you've created. Because, we went from having Avatar, which is for the sheer ability of making a 3D film the way he did, it's a masterpiece. To having, there are certain films that came out, and I'm like, these films had no right to come out in 3D.
Yeah, it was the ticket price, because the ticket price is sweet money, and so.
Could you imagine, like he made, let's say that like Avatar 4 or is holographic, it's all great, right? I'm like, you know how much that ticket price is going to cost?
It depends on how much the spectacle amazes you, because I reckon if that's all people are talking, oh my god, have you seen this film? Have you seen this film? Have you seen this film? That people aren't going will just ignore the ticket price until they can't ignore it.
That's the thing, is I'm like, when I see it, I feel like people won't, because I feel like we're in a present day stage where right now a ticket price for the average film is almost £15.
Yeah.
And that depends on when you go, where you go, and what you're seeing. The average ticket for 2D film, depending on the time and that, is almost £15. 3D, you're looking at around £17 at times. Now, a holographic film, them man are going to be like, hey, like, I'll come to see Avatar 4 for you. And then have 1 month rent.
That's a sketch. But yeah, I know what you mean. I really, I'll say this on the matter. If it looks anything like what I saw at work, I'll be willing to pay a little bit more than probably £15 or maybe 25 quid. That's my buffer of paying for something like that. But it does look amazing. It's like an eye rubbing moment, because you can't really believe what you're looking at, and that's stuck with me ever since. I haven't. Everything seems very flat now, but yeah, I know where you're coming from, and I guess it's a wait and see, really, what comes from it. But I think if anything is going to distinguish what Netflix is and what the theater is, it's going to be advancing technology, because that's what's, ever since, as you said, going back to what you're saying, ever since TV, it's either been the sound, the picture quality, the seating, the size of the screen. They've thrown everything at theater, and in its existing state so far. So the next phase is, okay, where do we go in picture quality or visual? You go a step further. Holographics is the next thing. That's the only way I can see the theatre really standing on its own ground.
Right.
So yeah, that's my rant over. Sach, you still around? You still with us?
Yeah. So next topic, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse, Magnitude.
Madness.
Madness.
Yeah.
Madness.
Yeah, I don't know where you got magnitude from.
Yeah, Sam Raimi is directing.
Yeah, but didn't we talk about this?
Did we talk about this? What's your thoughts, Neil? Anyway, that's on the show notes. So.
Oh
okay.
Man, I don't. I feel like, and obviously this is not a thing against Sam Raimi or anything against that, but I feel like, and I'll explain my feelings, is that I got burned with Joss Whedon doing Justice League or recutting Justice League or whatever. So I feel like them just grabbing Sam Raimi and being like, oh, we want you to do this, or approaching him and him saying yes, is I feel like, okay, his reputation is high because of, everything he made outside of Spider-Man films, right? But at the same time, I'm like, you got burned with Spider-Man 3.
Did he get burned?
With studio input and then mandating that you make this and you have to do that. Marvel, love them as much as I do, are notorious for being like, no, you gotta do this. Because they got burned with Joss Whedon when he did Ultron. When he did Ultron, he was like, yeah, you gonna kiss my ass today.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like, what is that gonna look like? A mandated film with a man who's burned by a mandated film.
Yeah.
I mean, the nature of what Doctor Strange 2 is supposed to be about, the nature of that film, to me, it suits Sam Raimi down to the T.
Yeah.
It's like that's a director's chair that was sculpted to his hips and backside. But I just don't know how it looks.
Yeah.
I can't get as excited as I should get, knowing that he is directing that film.
I reckon once I see evidence of what he can do with, if it says, because I think the first one's quite nice to look at. There's a lot of visual flares that I'd never seen before. It's similarly in Inception, but more so in this. But if he can do something off the cuff like that film, I'll be really chuffed to see that. That would be really interesting to see what he brings to it, especially because he's an Evil Dead guy. So just seeing what he can do with the camera will be interesting to see. Hopefully, I have faith in him in terms of doing something unique. As much as Disney will allow him to.
Yeah, I mean, the exciting thing about Raimi, when you look at his Spider-Man films particularly, you can tell it's his vision. You know what I mean? Like, he has a particular vision on his films, which is something that I find the Marvel films have they don't really have that visual kind of input sometimes, where a director can put their own flair on. So it'd be interesting to see whether Raimi takes to that or whether he's let loose to do a Sam Raimi version of Doctor Strange. I hope it's the latter, personally, because Marvel are very criticized amongst every film outlet for being, having such a palette that they do. But at the same time, I feel that that's what the established palette is. So maybe not change it too much, but I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. It's a weird time, because at the same time, on one hand, Marvel do have this kind of very kind of, we have a formula, we stick to the formula, we don't change from the formula. But at the same time, it's the whole kind of, a lot of the talk that I've kind of overheard or come across in regards to people talking about it is that now that they've got, you know, Endgame and that whole Infinity Saga out of the way, now that they've got it out of the way, they're like, now we experiment.
Right.
You know?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel this phase is. Because I know, you know what? When I heard of Phase 4, I wasn't initially excited of the lineup. But when you look at where the lineup is set, they're not necessarily doing straight sequels to Infinity War, with the exception of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Captain. Is there a Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel 2.
Have they announced it?
No, not officially.
No, not officially. Sorry, Black Panther. And
Black Panther. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Panther and Spider-Man moves that narrative forward. You know, everything else, Black Widow set in the past. Guardians 3 rumored to be set in the past.
I thought it was set in the future.
That's still to be confirmed. That's still to be confirmed. If it is set in the future, then that's cool because then it's moving the story forward. But by what I've been led to believe before he got fired the first time round, before he got rehired, James Gunn was setting it after Guardians 2, so before Infinity War. So that might have changed now. Who knows? But do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's very interesting to see where these films are scattered because the Externals is set well before
Eternals. Yeah. Not the externals.
Okay.
Do you know what external means?
It's set well before anyone else, everything else. And, you know, in that film, we might even get young Thanos before he was fucking mad. So, because...
I don't think Thanos was mad.
Huh?
I don't think Thanos was mad at all.
Fair enough. But the point being is, this is the phase where they get to experiment with the scope and expand the MCU.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we did talk about this, Joe, because I was going to bring my Iron Man theory. So,
well, because the thing is, from what I remember, from what I was overhearing in regards to Doctor Strange 2, and this was before, what's his name? Whatever his name was let go or left the project.
Oh God, it was Scott Erickson.
Yeah,
Erickson.
Before he was gone, right? It was supposed to be basically, it was being billed as Marvel's first horror film because there was going to be aspects, and you know, these are all rumors, so I'm going to say them, and you know, if they're true, they're true, and if they're not, they're not. But it was a thing of where in one of the multiverses they go to is Marvel Zombies, and you're going to see zombified versions of people that you know. And I'm like, on one hand, Sam, if that's the road that they're going, Sam Raimi's perfect for that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that to me is Evil Dead meets Darkman, and he made both of them, so I'm just like, if you smash them together, that's one multiverse.
Yeah.
Right? So it was things like that, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that working, but it turns into a thing of it's, you know, we're branching out now. We're gonna make films that are not necessarily just your average sit down popcorn thing. I'm like, this is gonna make you jump. There's a little bit of horror in this. There's a little bit of fear for you, you know. And then, you know, Eternals, and it's like, okay, we gave you a little bit of otherworldliness when we took you to the Guardians, or otherworldliness when we took you to Asgard. Now we're just going to totally flip it and say, you know what? Here's a whole movie of otherworldliness.
Yeah. I think that sounds about. I mean, I don't know what happened internally at Disney, but or Marvel, sorry. But I'm guessing that clearly Scott Erickson didn't want to go in that direction, which I'm sure it's like when Edgar Wright left. There were elements of his script that were still in there. I guarantee you that train section was in his script. because I really like that scene. And so it's like if you have a disagreement, I'm pretty sure he'll be back in some degree. Maybe he'll do the third one. Who knows? But Sam Raimi at the moment, he's not a bad choice. They could have got Yuri Boyle to do this film.
Could you imagine if Uber Boyle did a Marvel film?
That one, yes. Two, it would be hilarious to see.
I feel like because of the nature of the overarching universe that Marvel has built, even though, you know, there was thoughts where Kevin Feige was like, look, we're kind of going to stray away from the whole massive saga films. Like, you know, every film is a piece of a puzzle saga. Straying away from that. It's look, at the end of the day, it may be Marvel, but it's still Disney, and that means it's regimented and it's gone through, you know, it's got however many hurdles a film has to go through. Disney had 10 more to it, and I feel like that's the problem. That's why they're losing. That's why they were losing people. It's like you think going all the way back to, I think it's Thor 2, and it was supposed to be Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, I heard the story on that now.
And then she was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling the way you guys are working. She was out. And then
she didn't like the story that they were coming up with. She had her own take of what it should be. Actually, her take sounded really good as a Thor film, as a follow-up to the first film. But, you know, they wanted to, you know, because of where they were going with the Infinity Stones and stuff.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be about Malekith. Is it Malekith?
Yeah, Malekith.
Malekith. They wanted it to be about Malekith, and they were kind of adamant that be that. Unfortunately, losing her, there was no director with a key sense of, you know, changing stuff up in what the plot should be, whether the antagonist should have more screen time, etc. Instead, they played it safe by getting a TV guy,
Alan Taylor,
who's very good at doing stuff what he's told to do, which is very good because the guy was a competent director, but he's not someone that shapes the story and the narrative of how things go. If it maybe we could tweak this and tweak that. I forget the name of
Alan Taylor. I just said it.
Alan Taylor, and you know they picked the yes man, and he did a yes man's job, and that resulted in Thor: The Dark World. I don't mind Thor: The Dark World, but it's lower tier Marvel for me. If I all the films,
that's the thing. Absolute agreement.
They went with the safe choice. They went with the guy that would, you know, that would just bring the film on time and not really give them much ball ache, and that's fine. You know, that's fine because you know, it's not a terrible movie, but it's a bad movie in terms of Marvel films, if that makes sense. But it's not a film, you know.
But that's the thing. I mean, it's like when you, it's the kind of thing of where, you know what, it's what it may be an ugly bolt, but it's a bolt that needs to be in for the machine to work.
Oh yeah, totally. But I don't think it's that bad. They're worse films.
That's what I'm saying. It's when you compare it to the other MCU films, it becomes a bad film. Yeah. But if you can, I mean, hey, there's a lot of films that you can compare Thor: The Dark World that are not MCU films that are like, you know what? It's really not that bad.
You know what? I actually enjoyed it when I saw it. I think I noticed when I think of the other films, but when I watched it, I was like, yeah, that's fine. But I'm telling you something. When I walked into Ragnarok, nothing could prepare me for how much I love that film.
Because you know what the thing is as well? And here's the thing that people always seem to forget. The Dark World came out in between Iron Man 3 and right? I'm like, you come out in between that, regardless of how many people, hardcore comic book fans, really disliked Iron Man 3 because of the whole Mandarin thing. You skip all of that.
Yeah.
People who knew nothing about it absolutely adore Iron Man 3.
Oh, yeah.
Or Winter Soldier, which is like top tier Marvel.
Oh, yeah, that's like the top two.
I'm like, you put those three films together, something is always going bad.
Yeah. So moving on from that, we have Mad Max Furiosa. It's coming, according to George Miller, in 2021. They just cast, who did they cast?
Anya
Taylor-Joy from Emma, New Mutants, and Split. She was the lead in Split, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so her. Good choice of actress, she can act. Furiosa, man, I'm going to say this. I saw Fury Road 8 times in the cinema. 8 glorious times in the cinema. You know what? That film is imprinted in my mind. That is, you know what? When I do my top 10 of the decade, I don't know whether it's this year or next year I do it.
This year.
Is it this year?
It would have to be.
Yeah, it will be this year. All right, I'm going to tell you what. Mad Max Fury Road is probably in the top 3, hands down. Hands down, the top 3, because that film was a masterstroke of filmmaking. I don't care if you cuss it out and say, look, it had no plot. All it was like a car chase that went this way and that way. Yeah, it was. You know what? It was masterful. It was like if Mozart directed car chases. That's what that was. It was like such a good talk.
Well, that's the imprint of a spectacle film. Which people will gladly pay for because all the money's on the screen.
Yeah, and plus, like, there's only one way that film would have been better than what we got, and it was a fantastic film, and Tom Hardy did a fantastic job. But there's only one way that film would have been better, if it was Mel Gibson. That's the only way you could trump that film. The whole film was with Mel Gibson. But Mel or not, fantastic. He managed to deliver a phenomenal feat. I cannot believe he's been making it for like 12, 13 years, man.
With, you know what, well, with Mad Max, my kind of feelings on it are, in regard to Fury Road, is the film is ever so slightly tainted for me.
Yeah?
Simply because I was having a conversation with a friend who I'm going to spare this person's graces and not name them.
Okay.
But they were he was basically saying how he didn't like X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, fair enough. Explain to me why. And he gave me his reasons. And he was like, it's not... and he compared it to Mad Max Fury Road.
What?
He compared it to like Mad Max Fury Road. Now that's a film, as opposed to saying Days of Future Past, with cock bollocks or whatever it is.
I mean, they're two very different films.
Very different films.
Yeah.
But when he said that, I was like, hold on. So you comparing a film that brings together like the past generation of X-Men, the current generation of X-Men, cast-wise, it does this, and this, and you're comparing it to a film which is driving one way, realizing you forgot your car keys, your house keys, driving all the way back. It was basically a trip down the M1.
I see what you mean. I see.
So I was like, that at the time, that's what my feelings were. And so now those two films are unfortunately inexplicably linked.
Right.
Whenever I think of Fury Road, I always think of Days of Future Past.
Oh, it's a double feature for you then, man.
I'm stuck with it, right? I was like, when I try and separate it, because it was like, in order to try and separate it, I looked at like the whole making of Fury Road, and they were talking about the original concept of what it was supposed to be when it was actually supposed to be Mel Gibson in the role, and how I think it was him and Furiosa were supposed to actually like get together or something. It was like a whole bunch of stuff that was supposed to go in,
right?
And then all the issues with Warner Brothers and a whole bunch.
The legal. There's a whole big legal battle.
Like things where they put things that George Miller had envisioned for the film. They put it in a video game and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
His main movie, why
Yeah.
I don't want to see a spin-off.
Right.
Okay, Furious, he was a very compelling and very interesting character, but I don't need to see a film set in the Mad Max world that doesn't have Mad Max at front and center stage.
Yeah.
I get it. But are you looking forward to that, Satch, or any of you guys?
Oh, I am, man. Anything George Miller does in that world, I'm in. So the way I see it, it's his world, so he can do what he wants. It's like me telling George Lucas not to do a Star Wars film that isn't the Skywalker saga film. George can do whatever the hell he wants, and he has.
Could, can't anymore.
I think for me, I'm just like for selfish reasons, obviously. If Charlize Theron's in it, then I will watch it. Right. I'm like, Charlotte, he's like, okay, we're making a Furiosa movie. Charlotte's Buchanan? Yeah, okay. I'll see you on preview day.
Just a quick, I'm just surfing, and looks like Amber Heard's out of Aquaman 2.
What?
Yeah, it's because it's.
What could she have possibly done?
No,
that role was different, right?
Who knows? I don't know what could have happened there, but considering what's happened with the defamation thing, I think Warner Bros. Went, all right then, see ya. So I don't know. I guess more will come to light in the days. It might not be true because it's not a website I've ever heard of before. That's reporting this.
True story. I'm like, you know what? If they don't want to put everything no more, that's all right. You know who could do it? You know who could do the job? Hey, man, put Daisy Ridley in that.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Why the hell not? I mean, the other film that she's in is in production hell as well.
The trilogy based on the kids' books.
I think so. Is it
Tom Holland?
Yeah, the one with Tom Holland. Yeah. Yeah, that's in like a production nightmare. I don't know what's happened with the film or what's going on with it, but
I remember what it was. So what happened was they filmed most of it, or I think they filmed the whole thing, but they needed to do reshoots.
Right, and she was doing Star Wars.
And they needed to do the reshoots. She was doing Star Wars. He was doing
Spider-Man. Yeah.
So the reshoots had to wait until both of them were done, and both of them were done. They went to do the reshoots, and it's sort of like a New Mutants kind of thing, where it's like, well, you're slightly taller and a little bit more muscular than you were the last time you did this.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, that's a nightmare and a half, man. I feel for those films, but this news about Amber Heard. If it is true, then couldn't happen to a nice person.
I never wish harm on anybody. I will never wish harm on anybody. But I'm like, when certain things happen, I'm just like, you know what? There was a phrase I once heard that stuck with me. So is this: you always get what you pay for, but sometimes you just don't know what you're buying.
I like that saying. It's contradictory all at the same time.
That seems to be Amber Heard right now. It's like she's getting what she paid for. She's getting the full payment.
Yeah.
She did not read the contract before she signed it and offered up the cash.
Yeah. Everything. Look. All I'm saying is that I don't think I've seen Aquaman now, and
what did you think?
It's all right. It's nonsense. It's fun nonsense. When I say nonsense, I don't mean it's stupid. It's just okay. I know where this film's at. It's very it's very aware of itself. And I thought, okay, I'll enjoy this more now. And it's exactly that. It's something you could watch on a plane and be very satisfied with.
Is that what you did, Joe?
No, I watched that at home.
Oh, you watched that at home? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's fine. It's better than any of the other DC movies. It's on par with Wonder Woman. On par with Wonder Woman. Except for what?
Still can't stand Wonder Woman.
Look, man, if that's the worst that it gets, then I mean,
you know what it is? I still can't stand Wonder Woman. It's a good film. It's a brilliantly made film, but I just still can't stand it for the fact that it is damn near beat for beat freaking Captain America, the first Avenger. And I'm just like, the way Captain America gets slated and the way Wonder Woman gets hyped up.
Well, imitation is the what's the
nearest form of flattery.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the one. So, I mean, I think as a studio, you do what you got to do. you do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. It made a half decent film. It pushed Gal Gadot to. Actually, I think Batman vs Superman pushed Gal Gadot. I think she saved that film to a very small degree because her character is quite poignant. Because she wasn't in it that much, and when she was in it, she shone quite brightly, more than Superman.
I feel so sorry for Henry Cavill, man.
I mean, what?
I know the man's the Witcher right now.
Yeah, Henry Cavill is doing fine. Henry Cavill's fine, man. He's cool. I mean, that his part in Mission Impossible was amazing. I love his character in that. I love his character in that. I really wish they didn't kill him off. They should have done. Sugar, yeah, of course. Sorry.
Hey, that film was out on Blu-ray, available by before everything that currently happened. Or like, you ain't seen it by then.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so what were we talking about?
Mad Max Furiosa, but I think we're wrapping up now.
Yeah. It's we're coming up to the 2-hour mark. And I guess there's not really much to talk about now. Well, yeah. Any other little things that you guys want to talk about before we skedaddle?
No, I want to go to sleep.
You go to sleep at what time? Oh yeah, because you've got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, we'll wrap this up. Thank you for joining us, Neil. It's been good to chat. Good to chat again. Are you doing anything online? Anything to plug? Anything
No.
Nothing. Just quarantine.
I'll tell you what it is, right? I have various projects in varying stages.
I like that. Okay then. Well, no, we'll plug it again next time. Sach, anything for you? Sach?
Yeah, you can catch me on Sachman3 on Twitter, and check out my short films on my YouTube on Sacha Allari on YouTube.
Oh, you've changed the name. I thought it was Sachland Productions.
Well, they won't find that on YouTube. It's under my name.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's under my name.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, find his shorts there and enjoy. I am Jose, as some people know me as, or Joe. It's been good talking to you guys again. Sorry?
Jose. Instead of Jose, Jose.
I mean, it's just Spanish. It's my name in Spanish. Yeah. All this has been great, guys. Good to talk. Stay safe. Don't lick any surfaces. And we'll do this again soon. We'll plan a time when we'll do it again during the week if there's any major news. But yeah, we'll see each other. We'll talk to each other again, guys. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, take care, guys. Bye.
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 Bye.